We could talk about that for a long time. But hey, let's move on to another topic that is really dominating online, especially, and that has to do with the Ellen DeGeneres show. There was a lot of reaction happening to a lot of allegations that working at her show is a toxic environment, and also newer allegations that staff has experienced sexual harassment by producers. Since all of this has been coming out, Ellen herself has apologized, but there are now rumors saying, well, she's got, maybe lower ratings, maybe this is going to be the end of the line for her show, and maybe even James Corden could replace her. So is this, first of all, what's your reaction, everybody? And do you think that this hit to her reputation in the show, that she can recover from it?
Oh, I don't know. This story is really bumming me out, I have to say, because I've long admired Ellen DeGeneres for many, many reasons. And what's funny is that we've had several celebrities on the show, I know, who've been on her show as well as ours, who've said sort of off camera that being on her show, that they didn't feel like she was particularly warm or even happy. And I mean, we know that comedians sometimes suffer from that kind of sad clown sort of, affliction. So I sort of chalked it up to that, but maybe there was more at play. I don't want to see cancel culture, take over Ellen personally, but at the same time, my friend Tyrone Edwards, he's a good friend of our show as well. Recently, we were having a conversation around cancel culture, and he brought up something that I thought was really, really great, which was that he said people are going to be called out in this era for bad behavior. And if they actually have brought up themselves with a lot of goodwill with other people and they've done a lot of actions, they will survive that calling out. But if there's no one there to stand up and say that you are an amazing person deep down inside, or give evidence to the contrary, then yeah, you might be canceled. So I guess we'll wait and see whether or not Ellen's friends or other colleagues who have a different story, if they're going to step up and defend her and save her.
Yeah, I mean, so here's my thing with Ellen and the show. It has been the loudest open secret, and for anyone working in U.S. media, like for a decade now, that not just that it's like, maybe Ellen is not as friendly as she is on camera, but that working on her show is a notoriously difficult, challenging experience, and so, what frustrates me is that this has been a conversation that people have known for a long time. I saw someone tweet the other day, they were like, listen, when you move to Los Angeles, two things happened. You get a ticket on your first day for your parking, and someone tells you how bad it is to work on the Ellen show. So it's like,
gosh.
And so to me, I think the
wow.
is, I think you're absolutely right. Like, the truth of Ellen, it's going to come out. But I think the fact that the brand, the culture of her show has always been about being nice, being kind. And if that is a huge lie, if she has executive producers sexually harassing and maybe even assaulting staff members, just being cruel, then that is not about being canceled. It's about like owning up to the truth of how she runs her team. And, I don't know, she could stop doing the show today and she would still be one of the richest people in America. She'll be okay.
I thought the exact same thing. Ellen can't really be canceled because she's going to be just fine. But it is true. What I keep thinking about this is what's going to obviously happen next. Will the show be canceled? But if the show is not canceled, even though its ratings are down, is there a way possibly to correct that culture of not just sexual harassment, but the culture of fear and bullying? Because we're talking about a lot of jobs here. If this could be almost like a test model for hundreds of other media outlets that are sort of having similar reckonings of, surrounding the abuse of power around the world, it could be kind of an interesting experiment, I guess, to see, if Ellen can do it, maybe, give us the playbook on how that's done.
Oh boy, that's a big call to action right there, Jess. The only thing I can relate to in this is, like you said, San, we've watched her for so long and we feel like we know her and we think that she's a lovely person based on what you see on TV. And we get that to a very different and much lesser degree because we share so much on this show of our personal lives. And when we meet people, certainly when I meet people and people talk to me like they know me so well, or they know my daughter, or they know my husband, I get that part. And there are some days you're not going to be at your best. You might have had a terrible day. day. And there are other days that you're going to be right on your game. And so for that, I do understand that maybe some people have had bad experiences with her. This to me, however, sounds a little different because like Brad Garrett, who is from Everybody Loves Raymond, he's been very vocal calling her out on Twitter, basically being like, this starts from the top. So you have to ask yourself, what is the tone being set at the top? What is the mandate? What is the expectation? If people under you can sort of run rampant with their power as is being alleged. And then you've got people like Dakota Johnson, because she was on the show just in November, and people who are, I think, incorrectly saying she's the one who brought down Ellen, because there was, if you guys recall, a really weird exchange between the two, because Dakota had a birthday party and Ellen's like, you didn't invite me to your party. And then Dakota was one of the few celebrities who actually pushed back to Ellen and said, actually, I did. Ask everybody here, ask your executive producer. And it was like this shift. And we saw something in Ellen I personally have never seen before. So maybe there is truth to all of this. I think, as you said, Jess, we'll see where this goes.